Hi, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Tiny Brain podcast. Last week, we celebrated episode 50, so that makes this episode 51. But correct me if I'm wrong, Peter. Didn't we miss 1 week this year?
Well, we might have done, maybe. We might have
So
put
that
no.
makes
I'm
this.
sure I put out one by myself.
You put out a short saying, sorry, not having this. So that makes this week 52. So this is 1 year of the Tiny Brains podcast. Woo! Celebration!
Whoop.
So thank you everyone that's joined us for this entire first year. There is more to come in year two, more to come of the ramblings from myself and Peter. As always, we're going to dive in with the biggest news stories of the previous week in XR, and we're going to begin with a new controller.
Wow. It's not really new at the moment. We don't even know if it exists at the moment. But yes, there have been ramblings on the interweb that Valve are making a controller. Fairly, not too exciting, but it's called or codenamed Roy. And it could be a new VR controller for the supposed Deckard headset that again has been rumored. So
Long time.
it's the XR enthusiast Brad Lynch, who does lots of deep dives into the code on Steam VR and all that jazz, has once again found little mentions in there of this Roy controller that will have a D-pad and other functions, fairly standard, and it will have an open XR extension, which is the interesting bit of the code because it signifies that it sounds like it's going to be a VR controller. Apart from that, not much else is known. The last patent that was published from Valve was a couple of years ago, so we don't know what it looks like. But again, these are all the little tidbits that are building up to what we expect will eventually be a new Valve headset and a new Valve control system.
So the suggestion is that this D-pad exists on this controller so it can be operatable both in VR and outside of VR. So it's going to work with traditional games as well as VR games. And the suggestion is it's very similar looking to Valve's existing controllers for Index, but with a D-pad on it. So,
Mhm.
pinch of salt time and everything, guys. But let's face facts, right? Deckard has been rumored for a long time, and Valve were very committed to VR at the launch of the Index. So it's highly likely they are going to come back into VR at some point. But at the same time, it's highly unlikely we're ever going to see a third headset from Valve because they don't do freeze. So the second one, take your time and make it good because you ain't giving us a third.
Well, it has been almost 6 years since Index, so expectations are high.
Yeah, I have faith in Valve as far as it comes to VR. I think the Index was a great headset. I think it's still a very good headset. A bit overpriced these days. A price drop would be nice, but it is still a decent headset despite its age. So yes, Index 2, please, when you're ready.
Wow. As we always like to say, it's all on Valve time, isn't it? So
Okay, so next up we have another headset manufacturer, Pimax. Pimax has been around for quite some time, making a variety of headsets that never really seem to have caught the flames of like the mass market in any way, shape, or form, but they do have a keen audience, people that adopt their high-end headsets very early on, specifically for PC VR, and they're doing something different this time.
well, yes, their PCVR headsets, which were originally known for their wide FOV, were always generally on, like you say, on the higher end, so they were more expensive. So Pimax have announced a new initiative called Pimax Prime, and this is a membership program. So get you can get one of the new Pimax headsets, not necessarily for cheaper, but you can pay for it over time. So it's a little bit easier to buy, or that's the idea anyway. So what they're going to do is you can get the new Pimax Crystal Light, which is normally $899. You can get it for $599 and then 24 monthly payments of $11.99. So if you want to spread it out, you can do it that way. So there's still a bit of a chunk to pay off first. There's still $600, and then you get to pay off the little bits after that. There is actually a little bit of a saving in there as well. If you work that out with the $5.99 and then the $11.99 a month, you actually save $12 on the original price.
Again.
Or there is with the Pimax Prime, there is another route you can do. Pay that $5.99 for the crystal light, and then you can pay the remainder off. Pimax hasn't said how long that will be, but it's another like $270. But you can then pay it off in two chunks if you wish to. So there are a couple of options.
So basically, buy your Pimax headsets through Pimax Prime and then put them on eBay and make $12 on each one.
Yeah, yeah. If also a bit like Amazon Prime, actually, if you sign up to Pimax Prime, you'll get some other benefits as well. You'll get early access to new software features and exclusive invitations to members-only events, whatever they may be.
No one cares about that. We want $12, Pimax.
Well, the next bit is for next year is the Crystal Super, which is coming out, and that's going to be $1,700 when it comes out in 2025. That's going to be on Prime as well. So guess what? You get a down payment of only $9.99 to start off with, and then it's 24 monthly payments of $32.99. So, super affordable. Super affordable. You just need the brand to start off with.
I kind of have the feeling, right, that if you have a PC that's powerful enough to run this, and then you have £1,000 that you can put up front for this, that last 700, it's like you probably got that too. Yeah.
I would have thought so too. Or you probably have, a fairly flexible credit card that you can just whack it all on anyways.
The other way around, paying the 700 up front and then the grand, that's yeah. Oh well, I'm not in the business of selling hardware, so I'm sure Pimax know what they're doing, and we wish you the best of luck with it. I've always liked Pimax headsets. I don't think they're industry leading, but I think they're decent quality. So yeah, good to see Pimax trying new things at least. Moving on, we have Vuzix now. It's another company who tries a lot of stuff, has tried a lot of stuff over the years, and this time they're trying another thing.
Well, if you've heard of Vuzix, then you're probably in the business sector because they have been around for years, and it's all been enterprise-based headsets. Well, glasses, AR glasses primarily. They've just announced that their Z100 smart glasses are now readily available for consumers. So they are going up against the likes of Meta and Ray-Ban's smart glasses. But there is a slight difference with their smart glasses, and this is where it might get confusing for customers, is that the Vuzix Z100s are AR smart glasses. They have waveguide displays in them. So you will actually get little green information in there, time, dates, Google Maps, this sort of thing, indication of where if you need directions. So it is an actual AR pair of glasses rather than just smart glasses where you can listen to music and answer telephone calls.
It's a stepping stone.
Well, again, it's one of these stepping stones. It's very basic AR. They're 500. They connect to your mobile via Bluetooth. So there's no cables in between either. There's no external puck or external battery or anything. These are self-contained and just Bluetooth straight to your phone. And you get 48 hours on a single charge. So they sound all right.
Yeah. I have tried Vuzix products at many occasions. I can't honestly say if it was this device or other devices because there's so many of them. But they are decent quality. They do have a market and an audience. So launching them to consumers, sure, why not? Let's go. And like we always say on this podcast, AR is coming. There are steps that need to be taken. Consider things like this Vuzix, like the DK2 or the Oculus Rift CV1. We're far away from the Quest and the Apple Vision Pro point in AR. Even though the Apple Vision Pro could be argued to be AR. Anyway, we're far from the point of having consumer devices of that level. But we do need to take the steps to get there. So roll on Ray-Ban, roll on Vuzix, roll on the guys that do the Air Max. I've forgotten their name right now. Nreal?
Nreal, yes. Xreal.
Yeah. Sorry?
Xreal.
Xreal. That's the one. Thank you very much. Yeah, roll on all these guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep laying the steps. We'll get there eventually. So now we have one I've not really heard of. What's this? Gold AVP?
Well, I know you always love to talk about the Apple Vision Pro for every single podcast, Kev. So I thought I'd throw in this little nugget that appeared on the internet this last
You
week.
bought me a gold-plated Apple Vision Pro.
It's a
Oh,
gold-plated Apple Vision Pro. So there's a company out in Dubai, of course, called Caviar, and they essentially gold plate and jazz up all Apple products, whether you've got an iPhone or an iWatch or whatever else. And they're now doing the Apple Vision Pro, and it's going to be called the Caviar Oracle. So,
so is this like the Dubai equivalent of a fish and chip shop in the north of England where you take in anything and they'll batter it for you?
I think so.
The
Yeah,
Dubai
yeah,
equivalent is they plate it in gold
yeah.
for you.
You take your Apple Vision Pro in, and they'll clad it in leather, gold, silver, and jewels, and then we go. There you go. There's your bling headset.
Whereas
So
in the north of England, you take in a pizza and they'll throw it in a deep fryer for you.
yeah, pretty much, pretty
The
much.
same. It's the same.
Yes, they're only going to do 49 of these units.
Only
Only going to do 49 of these units. And guess what? They're going to be a little bit more expensive. So the Apple Vision Pro, as I think most of us know, $3,500 for the base model. If you're getting a lovely Caviar Oracle, the base model is $26,700 for the 256 gig version. Or if you're not a povo like the rest of us and actually have a bit more money to spend, 29,700 gets you the 1 terabyte version. So for that upgrade in capacity, that's an extra 3 grand. If you get the
well,
normal Apple Vision Pro,
I'm so glad you've got me one, Pete, because this is the kind of thing that I would never buy for myself, you know. So, and if it's just the base model, I don't mind. That's totally fine. I'm not greedy. But thank you very much. I'm very much looking forward to Christmas now.
it it, it,
Um,
it makes Apple's normal Apple Vision Pro look decidedly cheap and cheap.
well, considering the price difference between the two versions is the cost of a Vision Pro, it's like, yeah.
Pretty much. And it doesn't say how much it's going to weigh either. So with all that extra leather, jewelry, gold on it, how heavy is it going to be on your face? Who knows?
Well, you know, beauty is painful, right? So.
Mhm.
Anyway, we're going to wrap this up as we always do with some gaming news, and yeah, PlayStation VR 2. We've been we've been what's the word? Mourning you for the past few episodes on this podcast, but today, this time, we have some good-ish news.
Well, I think it's good news. It's a double whammy. Sony are really going into the end of the year and the sale season with an extra fervor. So let's start with the big one, the discounts. Black Friday deals on PlayStation. Sony have announced them for PS5, all the games, and for PSVR 2. And once again, like the summer, we're getting a big discount. So the bog standard PSVR 2 is now £350. So I presumed that'll be similar for the dollars as well. Also, the Horizon bundle that you can also get is the same price, £350. That's really good. So on the first one, you're saving 180. On the second one on the bundle, you're saving £220 getting the game and the headset, which is a great saving from your over £500 down to 350. Interestingly, even though these are Black Friday deals, just on the PSVR 2s that I noticed, the deals are running through until the 2nd of January. So rather than December, you're getting a whole month to decide. So those people that might be getting money for Christmas, might buy PSVR 2 instead. So you'll buy 2 or 3, Kev?
Yeah, I've got a couple of spaces on my shelf. Why not? I'm all for saving this device. Everyone go out and buy one.
Yeah, well, now's as good a time as any with those savings. Then the second bit is the games that are coming out. So quite a few games have been confirmed for PSVR 2. Some have already come out, like Mare, that was originally out a couple of years ago for Oculus Meta Quest. Mare is a nice little casual puzzle solver. So that's out now for PSVR 2. But there's new games coming as well. We've got Trombone Champ. What's it called? Trombone Champ Unflattened. That's coming out in November. We've also got Masters of Light coming out in December, and big one, Alien Rogue Incursion out in December the 19th. That's going to be the big one to end the year, which will probably help sell a lot of those PSVR 2s on sale. The other, well, I suppose the most disappointing part of this announcement is the Hitman World of Assassination been delayed. Was it expected? This game has had a bit of a rough ride in VR in terms of its VR games. So yes, that's been delayed until the 27th of March 2025. So bit of a shame on that one.
Hitman's rep is not what it was, so they need to get it right, especially in VR, right? Anyway, that's all we've got time for this week. Go buy a PSVR 2. And if there's any of these topics you want to talk to us about, or anything that you think that we should be discussing on this show, please feel free to reach out at any time. Pete and I are always available to anyone in the VR industry, or XR as a whole for that matter. And we'll see you again next week for episode 53.